didn't reinvent its clamshell style foldable, but the Samsung Galaxy Z Flip 4 looks ready to hold on to its value foldable crown. Samsung's mid-year Unpacked event delivered everything we expected, with some new Galaxy Buds 2 Pro, a new duo of smart watches across the Galaxy Watch 5 and Galaxy Watch 5 Pro, and a pair of foldables in the Galaxy Z Fold 4 and the Galaxy Z Flip 4. The new foldable keeps the signature clamshell design and comes with an improved display, dual cameras, and a flagship chipset. The screen's diagonal is 6.7 inch, which is the same as the predecessor, but that's where the similarities end. The new OLED panel has a better hinge that bends in a pear shape to close completely when folded. It supports HDR10 Plus and comes with 144Hz refresh rate. Also, Motorola dropped the weird notch with the panel tucking underneath and introduced a punch hole design for the 32-megapixel front-facing camera. Now, we don't want to call it a selfie shooter, as selfies will likely be taken with the dual camera on the back, in combination with the external 2.7-inch OLED screen that apparently remains unchanged. The main camera has a 50-megapixel sensor and OIS identical to what is used on the Edge 30 Pro and S30 Pro. The secondary camera is a 13-megapixel ultra-wide-angle shooter with 121 degrees field of view. The previous two Moto Razr phones had Snapdragon 7 series chipsets, but finally the Moto Razr 2022 comes with a flagship Snapdragon 8 Plus Gen 1. Other specs include support for RAW shooting, MyUI 4.0 interface that redesigned some apps to work on the outer screen as well, dual speakers with Dolby Atmos support, and proper DC dimming. Both foldables certainly look like their respective predecessors, with the Z Flip 4 rocking a familiar two-tone clamshell form factor, a dual rear camera, and an external cover display. So what is new? Across both the Fold 4 and Flip 4, iterative refinement looks to be the name of the game, but that's especially true with regards to the Flip, which at a glance looks and handles almost identically to its predecessor. Samsung, however, has been keen to impress the influence of its users, and how user feedback has dictated what areas of the Z Flip formula the company has focused on in refining 2021's still compelling Samsung Galaxy Z Flip 3. The first two Motorola Razr foldable phones clung too tightly to the nostalgia factor, with an elevated chin at the bottom that was lifted straight from the classic Razr clamshell phones of the past. Motorola did put a fingerprint sensor on the chin and also used it as a clever contraption to slide in a portion of the flexible screen, but it was still a divisive design. In 2022, the chin is going away. A Lenovo executive had already showcased the phone on stage before its launch, revealing a design without any chin and symmetrical bezels at the top of the bottom. Plus, there is no camera notch for the selfie camera at the top. Motorola is also improving the folding design by making the teardrop-shaped hinge inner radius 3.3mm. It will allow the device to be in a half-open position or act as a tripod for your selfies. Motorola has teased several use cases like watching a video on the top half while chatting on the lower half, plus other multitasking stuff. While the design makeover is clean, Motorola still retains some of the classic Razr design by making the top and bottom edges ever so slightly curved. The outer cover display, which is already noticeably bigger and significantly more functional than Samsung's Galaxy Z Flip 3 or Z Flip 4 is also adding a few millimeters to itself on the Razr 2022. The inner foldable panel is a 6.7-inch OLED screen, while the cover display is a 3-inch unit with an 800 x 573 resolution, which will get 9 different widgets for at-a-glance info. The display will have support for DC dimming and a 10-bit panel with HDR10 Plus support. It will be one of the few smartphones in the market to sport an OLED display with a 144Hz refresh rate. Another notable change is the dual lens rear camera setup, but there is no word if more color options will be on the table this year aside from the usual black trim. The Samsung Galaxy Z Flip 4 looks and feels like its predecessor but comes dressed with a smattering of small improvements that demonstrate Samsung's ability to listen to its users. While existing Z Flip 3 owners shouldn't feel left behind based on the addition and enhancement its successor offer, for anyone else looking to make the move to a modern foldable, even with the slight year-on-year price hike in some markets, the Z Flip 4 still looks like the best current gen clamshell for the price. Samsung has definitely left plenty of wiggle room for the Flip 5 or whatever it will be called. However, with bigger camera hardware advancements, higher resolution displays, dust resistance and faster charging, all areas that it'd be great to see more improvement on. Coming to the pricing, Motorola is more aggressive this time around. The Razr 2022 has been announced in China in range from 6,000 Chinese yuan for the cheapest model with a 7,300 Chinese yuan asking price for the most expensive one. This translates to $900 to $1,100 though it's never quite that straightforward. It would still be a drop from the 1,500 price from the previous generation and close enough to the Z Flip 4's 1,000 baht price that the Razr could even undercut it. So far, Motorola has only shared plans to launch the Razr 2022 in China, but the company often starts its mobile launches with a China launch before expanding to Europe and the United States. We'll hold out for an announcement later and update this if and when that happens.